It's pretty loud. Okay. And Christine, there she is. Christine, this is the first time that I actually get to see like a live Christine. We just are Facebook friends. So, hey, and you still don't get to see a live me. I'm sorry. I'll try to figure out my phone. Okay. And Ben Kemper visiting us from the Valley or something like that.
Glendale.
Glendale, there you go. Okay, so I get to have control and like mute folks who might be too loud, so that's always good. But I really want to just thank everybody for coming on, and it's 5 minutes after, so let's get started in what this is all about. In 2012, right after the presidential election, we started an organization called Catalina's List, and it was an attempt to get a very local grassroots list started of candidates and activists to work in politics and get civically engaged. And it was we were inspired by a group called Sally's List from Oklahoma, whose mission it was to elect progressive women to the Oklahoma state legislature. And when we heard their story, I looked at my friend Leticia and I said, oh my gosh, we're the Inland Empire. We're the Oklahoma of California. And so we came up with this idea that we would look for progressive women to start getting engaged in politics. From there, we created, or I created this really small Facebook group called the Progressive Alliance because I didn't know a lot of women who were active in politics, and I didn't know a lot of folks we could tap into for city council races and water district and state legislature and all of that. And so I figured, well, let's get together with the groups that I have met so far in my journey as a organizer for the campaign for a Department of Peace, and we'll just connect, and maybe from there I'll find some like really phenomenal women, and we can all get together and then start running for office. And so I created this Progressive Alliance group. It was a handful of folks from the very beginning, and I just named it a kind of a safe space where in most of the Inland Empire, any of the groups that are organized for community or even for politics are pretty toxic and filled with a lot of right-wing folks. And so Christine's like, yes. And so I started that group. And then, and it just kind of sat there, and we were able to add some folks after a minute. Then I was very excited about the possibility of taking some action further, especially after the 2016 presidential election and into the inauguration. And so in November or early December, we decided to pull as many groups as we knew together and tap into the energy that was created from folks going out into the street and figuring out they've got to do something. And I always had this idea of what a progressive alliance would be based upon, and modeled after, whoops, sorry guys, modeled after the Richmond Progressive Alliance, where Councilwoman and then Mayor Gail McLaughlin was able to fight Chevron, and they won. They were able to reduce crime, have real statistics on reducing crime. And during the subprime mortgage crisis, they also helped families save their homes by utilizing eminent domain for families and not for banks. And so I was always inspired by that. And because our area was underserved, we knew that our small group of progressive folks working on a bunch of different issues like immigration. So I was part of the Justice for Immigrant Coalition, like healthcare for all. So my friend Shirley was a member of the Older Women's League, and they were championing Medicare for all. And California won way back in 2007, 2008. And my friend Maribel Nunez, right, who's now the director of the California Partnership. So we're trying to figure out how we could come together. And so I thought maybe a co-op would be good. And this is actually from our website, ieprogressivealliance.com. Is members of the Progressive Alliance help to sustain the organizational work in a cooperative model, sharing resources and tools in order to maximize our combined impact and towards a collaborative effort in the movement for economic, environmental, social, and racial justice. And so that was the goal. That was the mission. And now it's time to really pull it together with, I think, a monthly call. And that's this first call to pull it together and talk about all the good things that are happening and connect with each other, because it is going to be together that we're really going to be able to affect some positive change and really develop some people power that is needed. And so that's where we are. And so I want to keep it real simple, just kind of share the history really quickly. And then we could go around the room and just just tell me your name and your, your number one organization that you want to kind of talk about or bring to the table. And if you can do that in like 30 seconds, that would be amazing. So can I start with, and we're going to hear from Bhavin a little bit later, so I will put him, I won't call on you, Bhavin. But can I hear from, I see Maha just signed on. Maha, would you be willing to just share your name, where you live, and the number one organization that you're a part of that you want to share with the group?
Hi everyone. This is Maha. I live in Corona, and I am the chairwoman of the Riverside County Young Dems. That's my main organization that I run.
Yay. Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about Aaron? Would you be willing to share?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Aaron Bratton. I am from Ontario, California, and primarily interact with San Bernardino County Young Democrats, where I am the new vice president of membership. And we do a whole bunch of progressive stuff there. And I'm going to kind of cheat and say a second organization, sorry, but COPE is another organization that I do a lot of work through, and we do a lot of criminal justice reform initiatives. So I think those are the two primary organizations for me. COPE
Perfect.
County Young Democrats.
Awesome. So, and then Aaron, later on when we talk about some recent wins, I want you to step up and talk about your recent win, okay?
Sure.
All right. Okay, so how about Kareema? Are you able to join in on?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kareema from the High Desert area, Victorville, Adelanto, Hesperia. And my main group is just working to get our organizations like High Desert Young Democrats just growing in membership and strength.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kareema. We have a lot of Democrats on the call. That's interesting. That's where I believe that we start at the Democrats and then we go left, but that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks, Kareema. Okay. Ben, would you be willing to share?
Sure. My name is Ben Kemper. I'm involved with an organization called In Solidarity that was born out of the 2016 Bernie campaign. I'm also involved with the Glendale Democratic Club and the Burbank Democratic Club, and working on getting people elected for ADEMS all across the region. I'm going to be helping out in Culver City this weekend.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Ben, so much for joining us. And Christine, would you be willing to share a little bit about your work and who you are and where you are?
Yeah, my name is Christine. I use she or they pronouns. I live in Claremont. I organize with Aware LA, which is the Alliance of White Anti-Racists Everywhere, Los Angeles. And our action arm org is White People for Black Lives.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. All right. And then Bruce Daniels, would you be willing to share? Hello, Bruce. Oh, he's muted. I'm going to unmute you. He's muting again. Okay, we'll come back to Bruce. There is someone calling from 951 area code 880. Who's that?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, hey, Stacey. Okay, please introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stacey Ramos. I am actually the outgoing VP of membership for San Bernardino County Young Democrats. And I am also a member of the Fontana Democrats. So I organize with both groups. I wear a bunch of different hats. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right, thank you so much. And then someone from 714 area code 651.
Hey, this is Resa.
Oh, hey.
Hey, this is Resa, and I'm the chair of the High Desert Young Dems, and I'm the California Young Democrats Regional Director for the Inland Empire.
Great. Thank you, Resa, for stepping up and joining us. And then one more person from 909, 964, 0291. Hello.
Hi, this is Debbie Mendez.
Oh, hey, Debbie.
And hi. I'm sorry, I jumped on a little late. And I'm part of Swing Left Inland Empire, and I'm also part of Eyesight of Pomona, so a couple of organizations. And we actually we go out to the communities in other districts and swing them, in particularly 39 and 49. We're already planning our March canvas to keep working. And that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm going to send a quick message to one of our guest speakers who's going to talk to us about one of the organizations that's part of the Progressive Alliance. And in the meantime, I want to kind of set some expectations for our group and for our call. And it's based upon what we have in the Progressive Alliance Facebook group, which is really that we're here to support each other. And if we don't agree on everything or strategy or anything like that, that we will do so respectfully, and we can just sort of unplug from the conversation, but we don't have to kind of vent at each other, because we're all in it for the same reasons and goals of peace and justice. And we're just, we have the things that really speak to us. And so that's kind of the group agreements that we set in place. And actually, I set it in place. So I'm kind of a dictator there. I set it in place in the Progressive Alliance group and work real hard to kind of maintain that that intention. And then, but I would like to transfer that and also open up the floor for other ideas and things that folks might have that we really want to bring in to the table. And Christine, you actually set the model, and I really appreciate that, because I forget of really sharing our pronouns so that people know how to address us and how we like to, how we identify and how we would like to be addressed. And so my pronouns are she, her, and hers. And Christine, you shared it. Yours was she or they. And so I think that is a great, beginning agreement that we would allow folks to self-identify, and then we would also honor their own way to be addressed. And so I want to just kind of plant the seed of think about other things that have worked for you in groups or in organizations or in your justice work that we would like to bring to the table and make a community norm with the Progressive Alliance. So we don't have to do all of that tonight, but I just wanted to sort of plant the seeds. Is there anyone that wants to offer an idea just off the top of their head while we're waiting for our guest speaker. Oh, and then Christine did share a Google Doc of community guidelines for Brave Space. So this is really great. And I can share that with you all while we're on the call. Let me see if I can do this smoothly.
Or you can just use them next time. It's a long document. I didn't mean to take over. I just wanted to share.
No, it's beautiful. I love it. It's so just to give maybe folks an idea of what we're talking about, right? So welcoming multiple viewpoints, owning your intention and your impacts, meaning really just be open to dialogue. And we can share this with everyone after the call as well, so that you can get some ideas of what we're talking about. We're working to recognize your privileges, taking risks, challenging with care, actively listening, and of course, confidentiality. While we're recording the calls, if you don't want to, if you don't want your story to be shared, because I did tell some folks who couldn't make it on the call that we would be recording in that way, everyone can kind of be on the same page. So if you don't want that to be public, kind of don't share it right now. And then we'll figure out a way, to protect other folks as we build our community and develop there. So thank you, Christine, for sharing with that. After seeing that, does anybody have any burning ideas that are kind of that they want to share? Oh, Karen May, are you available to introduce yourself?
Hi, Bobbi Joe. How are you?
I am great. Sorry, I missed you earlier.
No worries. I jumped on a little late, so I'm sorry I missed your introduction and summary. But it's nice to see some friendly faces and names. Hi, Christine. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Stacey.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us where you're calling from and what your #1 organization is that you're bringing to the table with the Progressive Alliance.
Oh, gosh, it's hard to say. I live in Upland, and I participate in about 20,000 organizations. Upland Inclusive might be one that I'm focused on these days. We're changing the face of Upland and building a progressive coalition in a very conservative city. So that's exciting. And lately, it's all about the ADEMS. Ermelinda Osuna and I are both running for ADEM in the 41st district. So that's keeping us very busy, but very exciting stuff.
All right. Well, thanks, Karen, so much. So it doesn't look like our guest speaker is able to join in, but that's okay because we have a counter. We have an ally, a partner in the movement and in the organization. And so I'm going to turn it over to Bhavin Jindal in just a minute. I'm going to share a little bit about the organization we're featuring this month. It's the Sierra Club, and it's a national organization, but a lot of folks, because it's a big national organization, might not realize that at the end of the day, it's the local members, and it's a very grassroots, volunteer-based organization that pulls together resources and the power of the environmental movement towards a lot of the sustainability and climate and conservation protection of lands, but now and for the last several years has been focused in urban areas as well to help with green zones and development and the environmental injustices that tend to happen in communities of color or low-income communities where we suffer the environmental impacts of our economy and and it's sort of, you know, put on the backs of the folks who are least able to fight back politically or economically. And so I joined the organization a few years ago on the political committee, and then was added to the executive board. And then from there was able to, now I'm in my second term as the vice chair of the San Gorgonio chapter. And one of the programs, and we won't go in that too much today, but one of the programs that really inspired me to keep working and make this organization my own here in Fontana in particular, where I live, and in the Inland Empire, is its dedication to equity and inclusion. And our new chair or president of the national organization a few years ago invested and convinced the board to invest in across the board training for staff and volunteers and volunteer leaders, talking about equity and inclusion and how that relates to a big institution like the Sierra Club. And so one part of that inclusion is having that political voice. And that's who we have on the call tonight, is the brand new chair, political chair of the Sierra Club San Gorgonio chapter, which is one of the largest chapters in the country. We cover both San Bernardino and Riverside counties. And so I met Bhavin Jindal last year during the election cycle, and he just picked up the baton that was sort of handed to him to start talking to local elected or election candidates to see who it was that we could get behind with the Sierra Club, and sort of the name and as much institutional heft as we could offer. So Bhavin, please share with us some of the information that that you'd like to talk about with the political committee of the Sierra Club.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby Joe. So just to reiterate, the purpose of the Sierra Club is to explore, enjoy, and protect the planet. And all of these topics come down to the political committee and our political action that we are able to do. One reason the political committee, we can see, has become more important even in recent years is that the Sierra Club and a lot of other organizations are spending a lot of money fighting warehouses, fighting other plans that the government is bringing upon us, whether it's local or the federal. For example, if this border wall, God forbid, gets passed, Sierra Club and other organizations are going to have to sue in order to, prevent that from happening. The reason the political committee becomes important in that realm is so we can prevent that from happening altogether. We want to tackle the problem before it even occurs. And the best way to do that is make sure that we have our allies in office and that they are, that they have our support to pursue whatever agenda is best for our community. We've been doing better and better each year. The progressive movement and the environmental movement within the Inland Empire has been getting stronger. I remember when I was in high school in San Bernardino, we didn't have that many progressive members within our city council. That's changing. You look in Riverside, we recently helped Gracie Torres get onto the water board. And we're looking for candidates like those that are really passionate about the environment, that have a stake in it, that have been here for 10, 20 years, and they know what we are going through. The air in the Inland Empire wasn't always bad. And that's something that, some of these candidates are aware of. They've seen the changes growing up, and they're passionate about what they're actually saying, and it's not just rhetoric. So that's a little bit about our movement and about the political committee. What we're focusing on this year is the upcoming election in November. We're going to be looking at what races are going on and if any valid candidates are running. There are some more elections coming sooner. There's one in Moreno Valley for the school board that some of you may have heard of. It's coming up in 2 months. It actually just got delayed today, I heard. And then we're going to be interviewing candidates that are interested in running for that election. to see, who is the best for the environment and environmental justice at large. There's another election coming up within San Bernardino for a city council. It's a special election. We're going to see if there's a candidate in our own area that's interested in that. And if not, one thing we want to look for in the future is having or helping candidates get to that position, right? There's a lot of young people, and there's people of all ages that are interested in running, but they just might not have the resources. And that's something that I would like to see the Sierra Club and the Progressive Alliance provide for these upcoming individuals. One action I would like everyone to take is just engage in conversation, name drop some of our members over here, whether it's the Sierra Club, the Riverside County Young Democrats, the San Bernardino County Young Democrats. Facegram it, Instagram it, tweet it. One big reason why Donald Trump got elected is because his name was more visible and more audible, right? Not a lot of people understood what he was representing, but they kept hearing his name over and over. And in the long term, I believe that makes a very big difference. In the Inland Empire, we have a majority left-leaning population, yet we keep voting for people that don't represent our best interests and that aren't left-leaning. And I think a large part of that just has to be because we haven't engaged many of these people in conversations. And it could be something small, a Facebook post a day. If someone sees a Facebook post from one of their friends and then they see it from another, it gets their interest rolling. And back in high school, I remember I was kind of right-wing. I voted for Ron Paul for some reason. Don't ask me why. But just over time, my viewpoints changed because I was exposed to more. And I think that's what we need to do with our own neighbors, with our own family, engage them in those conversations, and just keep name dropping.
Awesome. Thank you, Bhavin. So we heard about what the political committee is looking forward to doing, an action that we can all take. And Marianne Ruiz just got on the call, and she is the chair of the San Gorgonio chapter, and she is also now the chair of the California Sierra Club, which is kind of responsible and oversees all of the activities in California with multiple chapters because we're so big. So Marianne, would you just take a couple minutes to share a little bit about how folks can get involved in the Sierra Club?
I'd be happy to, and thank you for inviting me to be in your meeting. Sierra Club, and I'm not sure how much Bhavin might have talked about the organization itself, is because I wasn't on the call, but
Right.
So I don't want to repeat anything, but Sierra Club is the oldest and largest environmental organization in the country, probably in the world. Started in 1892, and Sierra Club kind of started off mostly to protect the Sierra Nevada mountains, protect things like Yosemite National Park, protect wild spaces. And over the years, it has grown to be a much broader organization looking at protecting our planet. The motto of Sierra Club is explore, enjoy, and protect. So under that motto, we do those three things. Explore, we do have a fun outings and hiking program, which is a big part of how folks often get into the organization through activities. Enjoy is paramount to wanting to protect things. You get out and see things in our environment and you want to protect them, which is our last piece of our motto. And we have gone from wanting to just protect wild places to protect the earth that we live in and make it better for all of us. So Sierra Club is kind of a monstrous organization. It's very big. We have the national organization, which is nationwide and has a number of campaigns going on in all different areas. Some of these campaigns are beyond coal. Sierra Club has worked very hard over the years to shut down a lot of coal-fired power plants. We have our Wild America, which is the public lands protection and wilderness and habitat protection. We have My Generation campaign, Keep Dirty Fuels in the Ground. We have a number of nationwide campaigns that have a lot of staff assigned to them. And we actually have a couple of My Generation staff here in our chapter working on mostly air quality issues and electrification to move away from fossil fuels in transportation and power generation and get us to a clean energy future. So getting involved at the local level is a lot of fun and really quite easy. Depends on kind of what your interests are. Bhavin talked about the political committee, and that does bring a lot of folks in to the Sierra Club because especially in these last few years, there's been a lot of interest in political activities. So that's one way to come in. I started in Sierra Club because I wanted to take a hike. I wanted to find some friends to hike with. So I did that. And then somebody suggested that I could be a hike leader. And then they suggested that I could be a chair for the local group, bringing in speakers to programs. And it just kind of grew from there. So everyone comes in with a different interest and different ways of getting into the group. But Bobbi Jo has just brought up our volunteer opportunities page. This is a list of a bunch of open volunteer positions that we have. And this is not by any means the only things that are out there. These are just some that we were looking for specifically to get some folks involved. And if you click on these links, it takes you right to a page that describes the position and lets you do have to kind of register for this page and set up a little profile, but then you can go in, you can see where this is happening and what the time commitment is, and then go from there. But there's a number of different volunteer opportunities here. And before we get too much further into that, let me explain just a small amount about the structure, because like I said, it is a very large organization. But locally in California, we have 13 chapters that are geographical organizational groups. Ours here, the San Gorgonio chapter, as you can see there, is all of Riverside and San Bernardino counties. Within that, and the organization is an executive committee that oversees all the financial and environmental and litigation, all those kind of things of our chapter. Within that organizational structure, we have groups that are also geographic. So we have the Los Serranos group, which is way over on the west end of the county, of San Bernardino County. We have Tacots group, which covers a lot of geography in the whole desert area. Then we have the Mojave group, which covers we have a lot of desert in our chapter, a couple of groups up in the mountains, Big Bear and Mountains group. We have a Moreno Valley group, and then we have a Santa Margarita group. And you can see there's a big area there in the center, which is really most of our urban areas where we don't have a group. And that's one thing that we're looking at trying to fix, get a group in that area. And a group structure is organized with a smaller executive committee that can run whatever things that group decides they want to do. Our local group in Los Serranos has a monthly meeting. Tacots group does mostly desert conservation things. So here in where we all live, I live in Chino. The Inland Empire Alliance Progressive Alliance is mostly in the San Bernardino, Fontana, Bloomington. Is that about right?
Yeah, and we have some groups in River. Can you hear me? I might be muted.
Yes.
We have some groups in Riverside as well. So yeah, through Riverside County. And then the high desert, some folks, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of the same general area.
Mm-hmm.
But for folks to get involved, there's like we showed the volunteer action page where you can go sign up to one of the jobs that we've listed. But it's not limited to that. Each local group has an executive committee, and we're always looking for folks to help run a group. There are countless conservation and environmental issues in our geography that we are working on. The proliferation of warehouses and the diesel truck traffic that comes with it is a real big issue. We have folks that are very experienced in looking at the environmental documents and reading them, and then when we need to, we take action against these warehouses and try to at least make them better for the community, if not stop them through litigation and working with the developers to try to come to some agreement on ways that the building could be better.
And to interrupt you really quickly, and I'm really grateful that we did that here in Fontana. We had a huge project, a 1.5 or 1.6 million square foot warehouse that was proposed directly across from our high school, one of our newer high schools, and in very close proximity to 4 elementary schools. And so we were able, with the litigation threat, to change and bring down the size of the development and change where that, I think something like 30 something bays were going to be facing the school, and those were eliminated from the plans.
That's right. Yeah, we were able to get a bunch of environmental mitigations, including, like Bobbi Jo said, reducing the size of the facility, moving all those truck dock doors away from the street that is across from houses. And we have other ones that we've worked on similar settlements to try to make the project better. And we've, along with the Center for Biological Diversity, we've managed to, at least for now, stop a huge one out in Moreno Valley. The World Logistics Center is has been sent back to the drawing board for new environmental reports because it just didn't work. So Bobbi Jo has all the information. You can look at our website. You can look at Sierra Club California website, and would love to have some of you folks get involved and help us with our work.
Thank you, Marianne, so much.
Thank you.
So Marianne and Bhavin, these are some great colleagues that I get to work with in the Sierra Club, and I don't get to do just as much as I would love to do, but I do subscribe to some of the national campaigns like the Climate Parent and Ready for 100. I do have 2 young boys. So if you all are interested in that, please plug into the Sierra Club. And so I honor our time. We just have a couple of minutes left. And I want to just invite folks to understand that we need to hear from all of the big and small organizations and the work that you all are doing on a daily, a weekly, monthly basis to make our community better and welcoming and inclusive and safe and just. And so if you are interested in sharing a 10 or 15 minutes, a little teach-in about your organization on our next month's call, please let me know. And in the meantime, I would ask you all to take a look at our Progressive Alliance website and plug into the join in where you can, and also take a look at the events calendar where I spend some time, and I'm going to share this with you. I spent some time being interested in every Facebook event that I could possibly find or that I'm on. I'm interested. I don't know. I can't always attend to everything, but part of my interest is that I can then download those events into a Google Calendar and share off of Facebook, for folks who aren't in Facebook, a complete calendar of things that are going on that I am aware of. I would encourage you all to send your events directly to the calendar, and to let other organizations know that, you know, this is what's already out there. And if folks want to plug in, we're just trying to fill it up as much as we can so that we don't overlap, but also that we can support one another in the work that we're doing. And so, so that's what I do, and that's what is on this website. And we could definitely use help kind of maintaining and keeping that up to date, and really just having and people fill in their things, their events, their upcoming actions. Is there anything, and I will pass it, you know, as we wrap it up in this last final 30 seconds or so, is there any events or things that folks want to just really plug in that are really urgent and happening right away, that you'd like to share?
A bigger trash can outside?
And then, so that's somebody having a background conversation, but I will plug in this Sunday, we're having our climate resolutions for the San Gorgonio chapter in Moreno Valley. Our friend Daniel Peden has offered some space out there, and we'll be meeting to talk about how we get to 100% clean energy, our New Year's revolution. Anyone else?
I'd like to just
Bobbi Joe.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, Bhavin.
I think that was Ben.
Oh, Ben. I'm sorry, Ben.
No problem. I just wanted to say that there are still if you're interested in the Democratic Party and electing good people to be the representatives, we call them ADEMS, but they're delegates to the party to vote on party matters and to reform the party and to do great things. There are still lots of elections that are going on this weekend, and volunteers are needed to come and you know, man the lines, talk up the candidates, provide literature, give people a cookie, you know, you name it. And so I'm gonna before we get off, I'm gonna actually provide a link on where to go to volunteer. But there are volunteers needed all across California, and so if you're interested in that sort of thing, that would be great to help out with this weekend.
Thanks, Ben.
Bobbi Joe, can I say something?
Yes, Maha.
Yeah, so RCYD, we're doing a food and baby supply drive for the Coast Guard members. They're not receiving pay because of the shutdown. And so we're just trying to support them and help their families. And so we're doing a drive. We have a location in Palm Springs, Riverside, Corona, and Paris. And I can send you the flyers and some items that we're looking for.
Awesome.
It's for this Saturday.
Okay, so yeah, we'll add that to the calendar. Thank you, Maha.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Oh,
go ahead.
RCYD, we're also on Sunday, we're doing a state of RCYD, our meeting, just to learn what we've done so far and what we're going to do forward. So everyone's welcome to join us. And I'll send you details as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any last person has something to say? Okay, well, I want to close off with really deep appreciation for everyone who took some time out and joined us tonight, and to the Sierra Club for their 100 and however many years it's been, and for welcoming a new generation into protecting our earth. We know that climate is really the number one issue and conversation that that is sort of it's gonna rear its head into saying how urgent and how important this is, and we're only going to be able to do that together to come up with solutions. So I'm going to share my favorite quote with from Senator Paul Wellstone, and this is, while we come at our politics and we come at things from all kinds of angles, the Progressive Alliance is hoping to bring together folks to really build the power that we need. And that power will be found oftentimes in politics, but it will be also based on the quality of people who are participating in politics. So thank you all for making this journey with us, and for joining in on the call, and please share with other friends. The quote is, politics is about the improvement of people's lives. It's about advancing the cause of peace and justice in our country and the world. Politics is about doing well for the people. Thank you, everyone. And I'll hang out for a little bit if anybody has any questions and stuff like that. But thanks again for joining us. And we were only 5 minutes behind. I'm so proud of myself. Sorry. Sorry for keeping you
Can I
late.
do a quick reminder?
For sure, Aaron.
I meant to unmute it. I thought it was automatically unmuted. Sorry. So just to piggyback off Ben, Assembly District 52, Freddie Rodriguez District has our election on Saturday. I am part of the Progressives United for Change slate. I know we have a few Chino people on the line, so if you could please come out and support Aaron Bratton, Martina Ortega, Flora. You'll see our whole slate. We're the Progressives, grassroots progressive slate, and appreciate your support. Oh, and then also the quick, what was it, the victory Bobbi Joe was referring to, the Rethink Public Safety Coalition, which I'm a part of. We did an onslaught, sustained pressure campaign to get the prosecutor, Mike Sellium, terminated because he was saying some xenophobic, sexist, racist, vulgar stuff online about Maxine Waters and Michelle Obama and immigrants, and it was just atrocious. And he's actually a prosecutor, so we started a petition, and we got 75,000 signatures, and we delivered it to the county prosecutor, the county board of supervisors, and he was forced to resign last week. So
yes, yay!
That's it.
Awesome, Aaron. Thank you so much for your work and for sharing that victory. Thank you. I'm glad you remembered to share. So awesome. Okay, everyone. Anyone else have anything to add?
I did put that link up in the chat, although once I looked at it again, it is not particularly Inland Empire centric.
Okay.
So I apologize for that. But you may be able to reach out to Bobbi Joe and find out more about other ones other than the one that was just mentioned. And,
okay.
So thanks.
No, thank you, Ben. All right. And definitely ADEMS.vote. If you just go to ADEMS.vote, that can help you find
yes,
if your area is having an election, and if and so I just pulled up the ADEMS vote AD 52. So you see the candidates there that we have vetted and calling our progressive candidates. Not all of our progressive candidates were able to make it onto a slate, like in AD 41, I believe, with Karen and Ermelinda, but we hope you go out and support, listen to these folks, talk to them, and see who you feel, can move the party and keep the party accountable with some grassroots folks. So yeah, there's that. Anybody else? Anything else? Last minute. Okay, well, thanks again, everyone, for joining in. And I'm going to stop the recording. So if anybody, so we'll say good night. Can I unmute you all and say, I have everyone say good night to all of the folks out in the Inland Empire. So
bye-bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Awesome.
Claro que
All right.
sí. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.